This is inspiration and well-being TV.
Welcome to the front line of the mental battlefield. Because let's face it, life gets messy, plans fall apart, people disappoint you, the unexpected hits you in the face, and in those moments when it feels like everything's going wrong, you have a choice. You can crumble, or you can rise. Staying positive in hard times isn't about fake smiles or cheesy quotes. It's not pretending everything's fine. It's about power. The power to stay focused, to stay kind, to keep going even when it hurts. Positivity is a superpower, not because it makes life easy, but because it makes you unshakable. In this video, I'm going to walk you through 7 real proven ways to stay grounded and strong when everything around you feels like it's falling apart. We'll talk about facing the truth without losing hope, letting go of what you can't control, using setbacks as stepping stones, protecting your mental space, building momentum through routine and small wins, the importance of real conversations, not just venting, and how to play the long game when life keeps testing your patience. This isn't fluff. This is fire. And it's all based on the wisdom found in a book that hits as hard as it heals. Life's a Mess, Finding Your Smile When Stuff Hits the Fan by Kizine Quocha. The title doesn't use the word stuff, but you can use your imagination for that. Anyway, Kizzy's a personal development coach with grit. The real deal. Through stories, science, and solid strategies, he shows exactly how to find joy while you're in the storm, not just after it's over. This video is your map, your mission briefing, your mental armor. If you're tired of empty advice, if you're in the middle of something heavy, or even if you just want to level up your mindset, you're in the right place. So suit up, lock in, and remember, you don't have to control everything to be powerful. You just need to choose who you'll be when the world pushes back. Let's begin.
When life hits hard, the first thing people say is, stay positive, smile, be grateful, look on the bright side. But here's the truth. You can't fix what you won't face. And sometimes things suck. That's not negativity, that's honesty. Today we're talking about one thing, acknowledging the situation honestly, because nothing changes until you're real about where you are. Honesty is step 1. You can't solve a problem you refuse to see. Denial doesn't protect you, it just delays healing. When life falls apart, breakup, job loss, grief, failure, you've got to say, this hurts, this is bad, I don't like this. That doesn't make you weak, that's the beginning of strength. Name it to face it. Start by naming what's real. Not just, I'm stressed. Say, I feel like I'm falling apart because I just lost something that mattered to me. Be specific. Say the thing out loud. Write it down. Then name the emotion. Shame, fear, anger, grief. Labeling emotions helps you stop being run by them. Honesty and self-pity. Here's the trap. Honesty doesn't mean self-pity. This hurts is honest. I'll never get better is a lie you tell yourself when you're afraid. Self-pity says, this is forever. Honesty says, this is where I am right now. One keeps you stuck, the other gets you moving. Toxic positivity isn't helping. Toxic positivity is pretending everything's fine when it isn't. Saying, just be grateful when someone's in pain, that's dismissive. Real positivity isn't ignoring the hard stuff. It's saying, I'm grateful and I'm struggling. Both can be true. Drop the mask. Be real. People respect truth more than forced smiles. Radical acceptance. Radical acceptance means you stop resisting reality, not because it's fair, not because it's easy. You say, this is what happened. I don't like it, but it's real. From there, you take back your power. It's not surrender. It's the beginning of control. From truth to action. Once you face the truth, you can act. You don't need a 5-year plan. You need one honest step. Call someone, cry, clean a dish, apply for one job. Doesn't matter what it is, just do one thing that moves you forward. That's how momentum starts. A story from the field. A friend of mine lost her home in a fire. She said, I'm alive, but I lost everything I built, and I need to mourn that. When she allowed herself to feel it, really feel it, she stopped faking strength, and that's when she started rebuilding for real. On her terms, grief didn't make her weaker, it made her braver. Your move. You're going through something. Here's your assignment. Take 10 minutes. No noise, no screens, just you. Ask yourself, what's really happening right now? What do I actually feel? What's one thing I can do about it today? Say it. Write it. Own it. That's your first step. Strength isn't pretending. Strength is honesty. So be real. Face it. You've got this.
Here's the truth. Life throws a lot at you that you can't control. The weather, other people, bad timing, the past. But if you focus on those things, you burn out fast. What keeps you moving isn't trying to control the chaos. It's learning to control your response. Today, we're talking about one of the most powerful shifts you can make. Knowing what's yours to change and what's not. Let's get into it. You understanding control vs. influence vs. acceptance. First, you've got to know the difference between control, influence, and acceptance. Control is direct. You choose your attitude, your words, your actions. Influence is indirect. You can guide it, but not guarantee. Like inspiring a friend to change. Acceptance is surrender. Not giving up, just choosing not to waste energy on what you can't change. Most people spend their energy backwards, trying to control other people and just reacting to their own emotions. Flip that, and you take your power back. What happens when you try to control everything? Ever feel exhausted just thinking about a situation? That's what happens when you try to control what's uncontrollable. You replay conversations, you obsess over outcomes. You micromanage. You spiral. It's not strategy, it's stress. And it doesn't work. Trying to control everything guarantees one thing. You'll always feel like you're failing. Let go. Not because it's easy, but because it's necessary. Finding your power zone. Your power zone is the space where you can actually make a difference. That's your mindset, your effort, your behavior. Stuck in traffic? Can't change that. But you can choose whether you scream at the wheel or breathe through it. You can choose what podcast you listen to. You can decide to leave earlier next time. The more time you spend in your power zone, the more grounded and less anxious you feel. The mental shift that changes everything. Here's the shift. Instead of asking, why is this happening to me? Ask, what can I do with this? One question leads to anger, blame, helplessness. The other leads to action. Maybe you lost your job. You can't undo that, but you can update your resume. Reach out to a mentor, learn a skill, apply somewhere new. You can control your next move. That's what matters. Dealing with other people's behavior. This one's hard. You can't control other people. Not their mistakes, not their choices. What you can do is set boundaries. Decide how much time you give them. Choose how you respond. Waiting for someone to change is like holding your breath. You'll pass out before they get it right. Breathe. Let them be them. You focus on being you. Avoiding the victim trap. There's a trap we fall into when things go wrong. Victim mode. Everything's unfair. Nothing helps. You feel powerless. But here's the truth. Feeling powerless doesn't mean you are powerless. Reclaim your powerless. Reclaim your power by asking, what's one small thing I can control today? Get up. Clean one dish. Drink a glass of water. Email one person. Small moves. Big impact. Tools to stay in control of yourself. Here's what helps. Routine. Start your day with structure. It builds momentum. Breath work. When you feel out of control, focus on your breath. Slow, deep inhales and exhales. Journaling. Write down what you're feeling and what's in your control. Movement. Physical activity reminds your body that you're not stuck. These aren't hacks. They're lifelines. Okay, knowing when to let go. Sometimes the hardest and smartest thing to do is let go. Let go of trying to fix someone. Let go of needing all the answers. Let go of the past version of yourself. Letting go doesn't mean you don't care. It means you care about your peace more than your illusion of control. A story from the field. Let me tell you about someone I met after a natural disaster. Everything she built was gone. Home, job, car. She couldn't control the destruction. But she could control how she showed up the next day. She started volunteering, helping others dig out, making food for people who had even less. That choice didn't change the past, but it changed her. It gave her purpose. She took control of what she could. That's hero stuff. Your next step. Right now, take 1 minute. Ask yourself, what's bothering me? What part of that can I actually control? What's one small step I can take today? That's your move. Not tomorrow. Not next week. Today. You don't need to control everything to move forward. You just need to control what's yours. Chaos is loud, but your calm is louder. Control what you can. Let go of the rest and keep moving forward.
Hi, my section of this video talks about negative influences, how to identify them and how to get them out of your life. But because I haven't had time to write a powerful and inspirational speech, I thought I might just read a relevant section from the book, Life's a Mess, Finding Your Smile When Stuff Hits the Fan. Hopefully it'll drive home the message and give you something to think about. Negative influences are pervasive in today's world, often affecting our mental and emotional well-being in ways we may not fully recognize. Understanding the sources of negativity can help us become more aware of how these forces shape our thoughts, behaviors, and overall outlook on life. Common sources of negativity include media exposure, social comparison, and chronic stress, each contributing to a cycle that can undermine happiness and create a distorted view of reality. By identifying these influences, we can take proactive steps to manage their impact and cultivate a healthier mindset. Media is one of the most significant sources of negativity, constantly feeding audiences a steady diet of sensationalism, conflict, and fear. News outlets, driven by the need to capture attention, often focus on the most dramatic and alarming stories. This emphasis on crises, crime, and controversy creates a skewed perception of the world, where negative events appear more frequent and severe than they truly are. The saying, "If it bleeds, it leads," encapsulates how the media prioritizes content that evokes strong emotional reactions, particularly fear and anger. This continuous exposure can lead to increased anxiety and a sense of helplessness, making it difficult to maintain a balanced and realistic view of the world. Beyond news, entertainment media also plays a role by glorifying conflict, drama, and unattainable ideals, further feeding into feelings of inadequacy and discontent. Social media, with its curated highlight reels and carefully constructed personas, is another major contributor to negative thinking. Platforms designed to connect people often end up fostering comparison and envy, as users are bombarded with images and posts that showcase the best moments of others' lives. This constant exposure to the successes, vacations, and celebrations of others can create a distorted sense of reality, where one's own life feels dull or insufficient by comparison. The compare and despair cycle is fueled by algorithms that prioritize engaging content, often pushing users towards the most polished and enviable posts. This environment can lead to feelings of inadequacy, low self-esteem, and the false belief that everyone else is living a happier, more fulfilled life. Such comparisons can be particularly damaging because they ignore the complexities of real life, presenting only a filtered version that is far removed from everyday reality. To read the rest of this chapter, head over to Amazon or Google Books and pick up your copy of Life's a Mess, Finding Your Smile When Stuff Hits the Fan. Happy reading and stay positive.
Let's talk about something everyone faces, setbacks. You train, you prepare, you try, and boom, something knocks you flat. In that moment, it's easy to think, this is the end. But here's what you've got to understand. Setbacks aren't dead ends. They're checkpoints. Points to stop, reassess, adjust. But never to quit. Let's break it down. Redefining failure, we grow up hearing failure as the opposite of success. That if something doesn't work, we've failed. Wrong. Failure is not the end of your story. It's part of the process. Ask any athlete, artist, entrepreneur, or survivor. They've all failed. The only difference, they didn't stop there. They treated every setback like a checkpoint. Where am I? What did I learn? What's next? How we frame failure shapes our future. When you hit a wall, your brain will try to define the story. One version says, you're not good enough. You blew it. The other version, this is feedback. It's brutal, but it's data. That second version is the one that builds resilience. It's not about ignoring pain. It's about using it. The checkpoint mindset. A checkpoint is a pause. It's where you regroup. Ask yourself, what went wrong? What can I do differently next time? What did I learn about myself? Don't treat it like a final exam. Treat it like practice. You're not broken, you're building. Why setbacks hurt and why that's good. Setbacks sting because they matter. If you didn't care, it wouldn't hurt. But pain shows you're invested. And that emotional hit, that's fuel. Didn't get the job? That's not I'm a failure. That's I now know what they're looking for. Got rejected? That's not I'm unlovable. That's I'm learning who fits me and who doesn't. Lost momentum? That's not I'm lazy. That's I need a better system. Every setback has a lesson. Your job is to mine it, not mourn it. Watch out for the quitter voice. There's a voice that shows up after a setback. It says, "This always happens. You're not cut out for this. Why even try again?" That voice isn't truth. It's fear dressed as reason. You've got to learn to talk back. Say things like, "This is one chapter, not the whole book. I've bounced back before. I'm not done." Role models who failed first. Let's talk real world. J.K. Rowling. Rejected by 12 publishers. Michael Jordan. Cut from his high school team. Oprah Winfrey. Told she wasn't fit for TV. Every one of them hit a checkpoint, and everyone kept going. If they stopped at failure, we wouldn't know their names. I've had missions go sideways, plans fall apart. People walk away. There were days I thought, I can't do this. But each time I got back up, slower sometimes, smarter every time. Because I stopped seeing failure as a signal to quit and started seeing it as part of the map. Your turn. Reframe and reset. Think about a setback you've faced. Now reframe it. Not as proof of failure, but as feedback for your next move. Ask, what was in my control? What wasn't? What will I do differently next time? Write it. Say it. Own it. Then reset. Setbacks suck, but they're not the end. You're still breathing, still standing, still in it. So take the hit, learn from it, and step forward, even if it's slow, because you're not done. Not even close. This is just a checkpoint.
When the world feels heavy, it's easy to feel like you're drowning in negativity. Bad news, online drama, toxic conversations. Your brain wasn't built to handle this much noise. You want to stay positive when life gets rough? You have to limit the negative inputs that are draining your energy. Let's talk about how. Information. Overload is a real threat. We're exposed to more negative information in a single day than past generations were in a month. Breaking news, social media outrage, comment wars. It's a constant stream of crisis and comparison. That's not awareness. That's overwhelm. Your brain treats all that input like danger, so it stays on high alert, and that slowly fries your focus, your patience, your mood. Identifying negative inputs. What counts as a negative input? Here's the checklist. Constant bad news, social media comparison, doom-scrolling gossip, or toxic conversations. Critical self-talk. If it makes you anxious, angry, hopeless, or exhausted, it's negative. Awareness is good, but obsession is poison. The drain on your energy. Negativity is loud, and if you don't set boundaries, it takes over. Think of your mental energy like your phone battery. Negative inputs are background apps draining you all day long. By noon, you're running on 10%, wondering why you can't focus or stay hopeful. Time to close some apps. Social media. The double-edged sword social media can connect us. It can also crush us. Comparison, outrage, endless scrolling. It can warp your self-worth and flood your system with stress. Set rules. No scrolling in the morning. Unfollow toxic accounts. Take weekends offline. You control the feed, not the other way around. News. Stay informed, not infected. The news matters, but constant exposure to crisis is not clarity. It's chaos. Stay informed, yes, but not constantly. Try 10 minutes a day, once in the morning or evening. Stick to credible sources. Avoid emotional clickbait. You don't need every update. You need peace of mind. People can be inputs too. Some people lift you, others drain you. You know the ones. Always complaining, always negative, always turning the conversation toxic. You don't need to cut everyone off. But you do need boundaries. Limit exposure. Choose your circle. Positivity is contagious. So is misery. Choose your side. Your own inner monologue. Sometimes, the most negative voice in your life is your own. That voice that says, you're not doing enough. You're falling behind. You'll never get it right. Catch that voice, challenge it, replace it. Try saying and thinking things like, I'm doing what I can. Progress, not perfection. This is a hard season, not a hard life. Talk to yourself like someone you care about. Building a positive input routine. You don't just remove negative inputs, you replace them. Try uplifting podcasts or music, reading something inspiring, calling someone who makes you feel better, not worse, spending time outside without your phone. Make positivity your default, not your escape. There was a time I was absorbing everyone's problems, watching too much news, staying connected 24/7. I burned out, felt numb, angry, disconnected. Then I unplugged. I took 1 week off all screens. I walked, read, slept. It changed everything, not because the world got better, but because I got clearer. Take control of your mental diet. If you want your mind to work for you, not against you, you've got to feed it right. Limit the noise, turn down the drama, dial into what lifts you. What you consume shapes how you feel. As Coach Kizzy tells us, choose peace over panic. Choose clarity over chaos.
When life feels like it's falling apart, you don't need a dramatic comeback. You need rhythm, stability, tiny victories. You need routine, and the power of small wins. Let's talk about how building a basic rhythm to your day and stacking little wins can rebuild your sense of control, confidence, and peace. Why chaos needs structure. When everything feels uncertain, your brain craves something solid. Chaos outside, then calm inside. Routine becomes the anchor. It doesn't have to be rigid, it just has to be real. Even the smallest routines, wake up, make the bed, stretch, drink water, signal to your brain, we're in motion. We've got this. The science of small wins. Here's the deal. Your brain is wired to respond to progress. When you complete something, even something tiny, your brain releases dopamine. That hit says, good job, keep going. You start building momentum. 1 dish washed, 1 email sent, 1 workout done. That's the path forward. Redefining productivity. In survival mode, your standards have to shift. This isn't the time for perfection, it's the time for presence. Some days success is a shower, some days is showing up to work on time. Some days it's just not quitting. Redefine productive as moving forward, even if it's slow. Building a stabilizing routine. Start simple. Don't try to overhaul your life. Build from the ground up. Morning routine ideas. Wake up and hydrate. 5 minutes of stretching or movement. Journal 1 page. Plan your 3 priorities. Evening routine ideas. Unplug 30 minutes before bed. Reflect on what went well. Prep 1 thing for tomorrow. Go to bed at the same time. Consistency over intensity. Always. Why small wins? Feed confidence. Confidence doesn't come from big achievements. It comes from evidence. When you say you'll do something and you do it, you build trust with yourself. That's confidence. Small wins say, I can depend on me. Stack enough of those and you feel unshakable. Tracking your wins. If it feels like nothing's working, you're probably not tracking what is. Use a notebook, a checklist, an app, whatever works. At the end of each day, write down 3 wins. Doesn't matter how small. I made my bed. I went outside. I didn't give up. Write it, see it, feel it. Progress is there. You just have to notice it. Avoiding the all or nothing trap. I didn't do it perfectly, so it doesn't count. Wrong. You don't need perfect days. You need consistent effort. Skip the workout. Take a walk. Didn't finish your list? Do one thing well. Half effort beats no effort. Every time. After one of my hardest missions, I was wrecked. Physically, mentally. You know what brought me back? Routine. I started waking up at the same time, drinking water, moving, journaling. Wasn't flashy, wasn't heroic, but it worked. That simple structure gave me the ground to rebuild. Creating your own win list. Make your own list of wins worth tracking. Could be, I got out of bed. I didn't cancel that appointment. I reached out to a friend. I turned off my phone. Wins aren't always loud. but they always count. Your life doesn't change in giant leaps. It changes in small wins repeated daily. So win the morning. Win one moment. Win the choice to keep going. That's how you rebuild. That's how you rise. The little things aren't little. They're the foundation. Start there. Stack your wins. Own your rhythm. You've got this.
When things go wrong, most of us keep it bottled up. Or we vent, loud, messy, and nonstop. But here's the truth. Venting isn't the same as talking. And silence? That's not strength. It's isolation. You want to stay grounded when life's upside down? You've got to talk to someone, really talk. Let's get into it. The difference between venting and processing. Venting feels good for about 5 minutes. You dump everything out, you rant, you repeat the same problem 10 different ways. But if there's no shift, no insight, no direction, it's just looping. Talking is different. Talking is when you say what's wrong, and you let someone reflect it back to you. You don't just release, you reframe. Why silence isn't strength. People say, I don't want to be a burden. But here's the truth. Bottling it up doesn't protect anyone. It just wears you down. You're not weak for needing help. You're human. And connection, that's how we make it through. Even heroes don't go it alone. Who you talk to matters. Not everyone is equipped to hold your truth. Choose people who listen without trying to fix, let you feel without judging, remind you of who you are, not just what's happening. Sometimes it's a friend, sometimes a coach, sometimes a therapist. Sometimes it's just someone who gets it. The right listener can change everything. How to start the conversation. You don't need the perfect words, just real ones. Try saying something like, hey, I've been carrying something and I just need to say it out loud. Can I talk to you about something that's been weighing on me? I'm not looking for advice. I just need someone to listen. People want to be there for you. They just need a door. How to listen for the other side. If someone opens up to you, don't try to fix them. Don't hijack the story with your own. Just be there. Say, that sounds hard. I'm really glad you told me. Do you want to talk more about it? Listening is a superpower. Use it. Know when you need professional help. Some situations are deeper than a friendly chat can handle. That's not shameful. That's real. Therapists, counselors, crisis lines, they exist for a reason. If your thoughts feel heavy all the time, if you're numb or overwhelmed or stuck in the dark, get help. Not because you're broken, because you deserve support. Don't wait for the breakdown. You don't have to hit rock bottom before you reach out. In fact, the earlier you talk, the easier it is to process and move forward. Talk when it's small. Talk when it's fresh. Talk even if you don't think it's bad enough. Your mental health matters now, not just when it's on fire. I've been there, carrying the load, putting on the mask, saying, I'm fine, I wasn't. And it wasn't until I said the words out loud that I realized how heavy they were. One conversation saved me weeks of spiraling. All it took was, can we talk? Never underestimate that sentence. The power of being heard. When someone really listens to you, not to judge, not to fix, just to hold space, it shifts something. You breathe easier. You think clearer. You realize you're not alone. Being heard is healing. Don't keep the storm inside. Let someone help you walk through it. Start the conversation. You don't have to have the answers. You don't need a script. You just need the courage to say, this is where I'm at. Say it. Share it. Let someone in. Because the strongest thing you can do isn't hiding the pain. It's being brave enough to speak it. The road gets lighter when you don't walk it alone. Talk to someone, not just to vent, but to heal.
When life hits hard, we want quick fixes. We want answers today. We want the pain to stop now. But here's the truth most people don't talk about. Real strength comes from playing the long game. It's not flashy. It's not fast. But it lasts. Let's break down what it means to think long term when everything feels broken short term. Why short term thinking? fails us. Short-term thinking is survival mode. You're focused on escaping discomfort, fixing the immediate, avoiding the pain. But the problem with short-term thinking is this. It only gets you out of the hole. It doesn't help you build anything after. To truly stay positive and grounded, you've got to zoom out. Ask not just, how do I feel today? But, who am I becoming? Shift from emotion to vision. Your emotions are real, but they're not always right. They're weather. Vision is climate. You might feel discouraged today, but that doesn't change your deeper purpose. Get clear on your vision. What kind of person do I want to be? What kind of life do I want to build? What will matter to me a year from now? Let that guide you, not just how bad today feels. Playing the long game with healing takes time. It's not linear. You don't bounce back, you rebuild. Setbacks happen, relapses happen, emotional waves happen. But long game thinkers don't quit when things feel slow. They trust the process. Give yourself permission to heal on your own timeline, not the one the world expects. Discipline over motivation. Motivation is a spark. Discipline is the fire that keeps you warm. Long-term progress doesn't come from feeling inspired. It comes from showing up when you don't feel like it. You won't always want to journal or work out or show up to therapy. Do it anyway. That's how you keep building forward. Measure growth differently. You won't always see progress day to day. That's normal. Track growth by how you bounce back after a hard day, how you speak to yourself in hard moments, how your values guide your choices, not your feelings. Long game growth is slow, quiet, steady, and powerful. Finding purpose in the process. The long game isn't just about pushing through. It's about building purpose. When you find meaning in the struggle, even a small one, it gives the pain context. Ask, what can I learn from this season? Who am I becoming because of this? That's not toxic positivity. That's grounded resilience.
You made it. And that already says something about you. You didn't just click play, you stayed. You listened. You thought. Maybe you even felt something shift. In this video, you learned what real resilience looks like. You learned how to face the truth without pretending it's all okay, control what's yours and release what's not. Turn setbacks into checkpoints, not dead ends. Guard your mind from toxic inputs. Build power through routine and small wins. Speak up when the weight is too much. And most importantly, play the long game with vision, not just emotion. These aren't feel-good tips. These are battle-tested strategies. This isn't just about staying positive. It's about staying powerful, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually, when life doesn't play fair. But here's the thing. Watching this video isn't the win. What you do next is take these lessons, put them to work. One step, one choice, one breath at a time. And if you want to go deeper, if you're serious about changing how you show up in life, read the book that inspired all of this. Life's a Mess, Finding Your Smile When Stuff Hits the Fan by Kizine Quocha. This isn't another self-help cliché. It's a powerful, practical guide written by someone who knows what it means to fight through the chaos and still choose joy. Real stories, real tools, real hope. Get the book, study it, carry it with you, and most of all, live it. Because life will get messy, but that doesn't mean you have to fall apart. You've got more strength than you know, more clarity than you think, more power than you've been using. So take what you've learned and go write the next chapter of your story like the hero you are. The world doesn't need more perfect people. It needs real ones, strong, grounded, unstoppable, just like you. Thank you so much for tuning in to Inspiration and Wellbeing TV. You are a true superhero. Stay strong. See you next week.